Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are starting with the first unit of your cell biology class, and the first unit is to introduce you to the general structure of a cell and what are the basic functionalities that it is going to do in your body. So by definition, cells are the basic unit of life which performs all the life functions, and they also definitely should have a few of the components, namely cell membrane, at least one chromosome, which is the genetic material, at least, and cytoplasm, inside which all these organelles are contained. And these cells evolutionarily are classified into two major categories: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So, to splitting up these words, these are all Greek words, and pro usually means uninformed, karyo means a nut, or in this case it means nucleus, and eu means formed, and karyo again means nucleus. So what we're seeing is in prokaryotes there is unformed or ill-defined nucleus, whereas in eukaryotes there are formed, well-formed nuclei. There are some major differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The scientists around the world think that prokaryotes were the first to be evolved and they were existing before the eukaryotes. And to their words, there are a few differences between these two classes. The first and the major difference between these cells are that the prokaryotes, they do not have a nucleus, while the eukaryotes have a well-defined nucleus. And then there is no true chromosome. They are in fact plasmids, which substitute for the genetic material. And the eukaryotes, there are more than one chromosome which contain the genetic material. And usually these are unicellular, and almost all the multicellular organisms are composed of eukaryotic cells. There is unidirectional transfer of DNA, like they usually divide through budding, and here the transfer of DNA to form new cells is happening through mitosis and meiosis. There are a few of the major cell components that are absent in prokaryotes. For example, prokaryotes do not have a lysosome, they do not have an endoplasmic reticulum, they do not have a mitochondria, and they are smaller when compared to the eukaryotes. They range in size from 1 to 10 micrometer, while the cell size of a eukaryotic cell is more than 10 to 100 micrometer. So a classic example for prokaryotes is bacterium and archaeobacterium, whereas all animal and plants, all higher animals and plants are comprised of eukaryotic cells. So we all know that all living organisms are classified into two major kingdoms. So based on the kingdoms in which these cells are present, they are classified into animal cells and plant cells. So we are all animals. So what we are seeing is a basic structure of our cells. So in animal cells, we have the nucleus. There is a usually chemically complex, very thin cell membrane, and there is cytoplasm inside the cell membrane. There are ribosomes, mitochondria, and vacuoles. So the nucleus is the core of the cell, which has all the genetic information, including the DNA. And the cell membrane, as you know, is containing all of these cell organelles and holding it up as a cell. The ribosomes, they produce ribosomes along with endoplasmic reticulum. They produce few of the proteins that are required for the maintenance of the cell. And mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell, which takes care of all the metabolism. They process glucose to produce energy. It processes and assimilates different substrates to produce energy. So it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. And there are usually few vacuoles running around here and there inside the animal cell. The plant cell is very distinct. It has a very strong cell membrane, very strong and rigid cell membrane. And of course, it has a well-formed nucleus because it is also a eukaryotic cell. There is mitochondria, there is chloroplast. Usually all the plant cells have chloroplast because they uh, can generate energy from sunlight, and to do that, to maintain photosynthesis, they have chloroplast. And they have ribosomes, and one characteristic feature that stands out between animal and stem and plant cell is that they have a really large vacuole, almost centrally placed in the cell. So basically, to be classified as living cells, any cell has to perform three functions. We have already seen three organelles that should be present inside a cell. So these are three functions that are mandatorily followed by all the living cells. They have to have molecular transport and synthesis. So on the right, you see different organelles that are involved with these processes. So a cell should have molecular transport, they should have energy generation, they should independently generate energy within themselves, they should be able to reproduce or divide among themselves and to produce more of their own kind. Apart from these basic functions, cells are usually organized into tissues, and inside these specialized tissues, the cells also maintain specialized functions according to the requirement of the tissue. There are two examples that I have depicted here. So these are the fat cells. Biologically, they are called adipocytes, and they store and assimilate fat within themselves. On the right, we can see bone cells, otherwise called as osteocytes. These cells can generate a mineralized calcification around them, and they are responsible for formation of all the bone structure in your skeletal system.